The fog was still rising when Madison Hart stepped out of her Tesla. She was on her second call of the morning. Q4 projections, board expectations, when her eyes landed on it. A rusted 1967 Mustang sitting in her employee lot like junk someone forgot to tow. Investors arriving in 90 minutes. Venture capitalists, automotive analysts, a German manufacturer scout, people who judge VoltEdge on every visible detail. And there it sat, right where the tour would pass. What is that doing here? Her VP squinted. Does it even run? She spotted the janitor, navy uniform, dented lunch cooler. Ethan. He turned. She walked toward him, heels clicking. In his shirt pocket, she could see the edge of a business card, worn like he'd been carrying it for years. Move that car. Back lot. Now, we have important people coming. He nodded once. Understood? She walked away, phone to her ear, already on to the next problem. But she'd just made a mistake. The car she was ordering out of sight? Worth more than her entire company. And in 2 hours, she'd tried to take it from him. By 9 a.m., the investor tour was underway. Madison led them through VoltEdge's campus, R&D labs, battery algorithm workspaces. The group was small but powerful. 2 VCS from Sand Hill Road, Dr. Sarah Vance from AutoFuture Group, and 2 men from Newburgh. Automotive, Dr. Klaus Riemann, mid-50s. Wire-rimmed glasses. The kind of engineer who noticed everything. And he wasn't looking at Madison's labs. He kept glancing toward the parking lot. His colleague Stefan whispered something in German. Riemann nodded but said nothing. They walked past the cafeteria, out toward the loading docks. That's when Riemann stopped walking. Excuse me. What is that vehicle? Madison barely glanced. The Mustang, parked exactly where she'd ordered it. Employee car. Old Mustang. Nothing relevant to. May I see it? She hesitated. This wasn't on schedule. It's just a staff vehicle. Please. His tone was polite. But it wasn't a request. The other investors were already curious, phones half raised. Madison forced a smile. Of course. This way. They walked to the back lot. Riemann approached the Mustang slowly. Didn't touch it, just circled it. Eyes scanning. Panel gaps, suspension geometry. He crouched near the wheel well. This panel gap, modified. Recent precision work, Madison frowned. It's a 50-year-old car. Of course it's been. No. He stood, hand on the hood seam. CNC level tolerances. This hood's been re-engineered for airflow. He looked up, eyes sharp. Who owns this vehicle? Derek pulled out his tablet. Ethan Walker. Night shift janitorial. Something shifted in Ryman's expression. Not surprise. Confirmation. Newburgh had been tracking rumors of a ghost prototype for months. Now he'd found it. I need to speak with him. Now. Madison's jaw tightened. But Riemann was already walking back toward the building. She had no choice. They found Ethan on the second floor. Stepladder, replacing a burned-out LED panel. Mr. Walker? He looked down. Saw the suits, the tablets, the tension in Madison's face. Climbed down slowly. Wiped his hands. As he reached for his keys, that worn business card slipped slightly from his pocket. He pushed it back in. Why had he been carrying that card for years? Yes, sir? Ryman stepped forward. Your car? The Mustang. What have you done to the engine? The hallway went silent. Ethan glanced at Madison, then back at Riemann. Custom hybrid propulsion system. Full rebuild. Ground-up design. Silence. Then one of the VCs laughed. Patagonia vest. Slicked hair. Wait, you built a hybrid engine? In your garage? Ethan met his eyes. Calm. Yes. The laugh died. The VC looked at his partner. Back at Ethan. Was this a joke? Ryman's voice cut through. Show us. Madison started to redirect, back to schedule, back to labs, but Raymond was already moving toward the stairs. Everyone followed. Ethan grabbed his keys. He hadn't planned for this moment to come today, but he'd been ready for it for years. They gathered around the Mustang. Fog burned off. Sunlight harsh on every scratch, every dent, every rust patch. Ethan unlocked the hood, lifted it slowly. The reaction was immediate. Raymond stepped forward, eyes widening. He leaned in, not touching, just looking, tracing intake lines, mapping electrical routes. "This is," he trailed off. "Ethan, your background?" "Former powertrain engineer, Detroit, Apex Dynamics. 15 years ago." Raymond's head snapped up. "Apex Dynamics?" "Yes, sir. Led their hybrid division before they folded. And because the board wanted quarterly returns over innovation," Ethan said quietly. Madison stepped closer, reading his badge for the first time. Ethan Walker night shift, her expression flickered. The man explaining thermal management curves to a German automotive engineer was wearing a janitor's badge. Raymond was already photographing. Manifolds, battery housing. "Do you have documentation?" Ethan opened the passenger door, pulled a weathered portfolio from under the seat. Blueprints on graph paper, CAD printouts, thermal charts, and a patent draft, stamped, unpublished, 3 years old. Raymond took it like something fragile, flipped through slowly. Curiosity became disbelief, became awe. He stopped on regenerative braking integration. Detailed schematic, tolerance specs. "This thermal management, we've spent 2 years trying to solve this at Newburgh. Teams, simulations, prototypes." He looked up. "How did you fabricate these?" "Community college machine shop. Taught metalworking classes for after-hours access. Nights and weekends." The VC leaned in, squinting. "But does it run? This isn't just theoretical?" Ethan closed the portfolio. "Want to see?" He slid into the driver's seat, adjusted the mirror, turned the key. The engine started almost silent. No rough idle. No valves clattering. No vibration rattling through the frame. Just smooth hum settling into a barely audible purr. Like a luxury hybrid, quiet, controlled, unreal. Raymond's hand went to his chest. Breath-catching. "Impossible." Ethan touched the accelerator. Response instant. Clean, zero lag. The needle climbed smooth as glass. He held it, eased off. Let it idle, that whisper-quiet hum the only sound in the parking lot. Then shut it off. Silence. No one moved. Madison stood at the back, staring at the badge on his chest, then at the engine. Night shift janitor. The world only saw the rust. The car she dismissed 3 hours ago? It had just revealed itself as something else entirely. And Madison had just handed Newburgh the deal of the decade. Raymond turned to Stefan. Rapid German. Stefan nodded, already on his phone. Raymond turned back to Ethan. 40% more efficient than current production systems? Ethan nodded. On the regenerative cycle. And it weighs less. Emissions? Cleaner than anything on the road. Raymond pulled out his phone, made a call. Spoke rapid German for a minute. Gestured at the engine. Hung up. Turned back to Ethan, expression intense. "Mr. Walker, my firm, Newburgh Automotive, has invested over 400 million euros on next-gen hybrid platforms. 3 years," he paused. "We haven't achieved what I'm looking at right now." Another pause. "Have you filed patents?" "Provisional?" 3 years ago. "Not published." "Don't." Sharp now. Almost a command. "Don't publish." "Not until we talk formally." Madison's expression shifted. She glanced at Derek, who started typing. And that's when Madison tried a legal move that could take Liam away from him. Madison stepped forward. Voice carefully controlled. "Ethan, this is extraordinary. But as a VoltEdge employee, any inventions using company time or resources are subject to, I built this in my garage. Own time, own money. But knowledge gained during employment. I mopped floors, Madison. You resume listed engineering experience. That could trigger our IP clause. The VC stepped forward. Mr. Walker, my firm would fund this, $50 million seed. We'd need majority equity for the risk profile, Ryman cut in. Newberg would acquire the full portfolio. Deal by Wednesday. Madison's voice sharpened. Gentlemen, Mr. Walker is under contract with VoltEdge. Any discussions go through our legal department. Ethan looked at her. Calm. I don't have a non-compete. I checked. Her jaw tightened. She pulled out her phone, stepped away, made a call. And Ethan's entire future was about to collapse. Madison didn't call outside counsel. She called David Chun, head of VoltEdge Legal. I need options, she said, already walking. Fast. Chun's voice stayed flat. Options cost money, then spend it. In her glass office, the board chair's text was still glowing on her screen. Keep them impressed. No surprises. Chun arrived with a laptop and a printed contract. He didn't sit. He opened to a highlighted paragraph, Section 12C, he said. Inventions related to declared expertise during employment. Madison frowned. He's a janitor. His resume says powertrain engineering, Chen replied. That's enough to argue. Not to win, he paused, watching her face, but to freeze him. Freeze him. She pictured the Mustang again, rust, dense, and that engine purring like it belonged in a lab. If we file, Chun continued, no investor touches contested IP. Newberg walks. The VCs follow. Everyone waits. Madison's fingers tightened around her phone. And if he fights back, Chun lowered his voice, we don't threaten him. We pressure the timeline, injunction, legal fees, instability. Madison stared at the employee lot through the window. The tour was over. The mistake wasn't. Do it, she said. Chun nodded once. One more thing. I'll need personal details for leverage. Madison didn't answer. Then Chun said it. Custody. Madison didn't blink. Riemann closed the hood. Carefully. Mr. Walker, you need to understand something. He gestured at the car. This is patent-level innovation. Solves problems billion-dollar teams have failed to crack. If this validates in testing, you're looking at north of $2 billion in licensing and acquisition value. The number hung in the air. $2 billion. Dr. Vance stepped forward. Mr. Walker, my firm would arrange formal evaluation, full IP assessment, third-party validation. Team here Monday. Ethan checked his watch. 11:15 a.m. I have somewhere at 1 p.m. We'll work around your schedule. My son's science fair. He's presenting an engine he built, firm now. I'm not missing it. Ryman smiled. Then we come back tomorrow. Your timeline, Mr. Walker. Stefan looked up from his phone. Expression serious. Dr. Ryman, legal flagged something. Ethan felt his stomach drop. The provisional patent. You filed it 34 months ago. Ethan's hands went cold. You had 12 months to convert it. You're past the deadline. You lost your right to be first. He took a step back. Which means your castle has no fence. Competitors can copy you by changing two components and filing their own patents. Riemann's face darkened. And if we can't guarantee exclusivity, we can't justify premium licensing fees. He backed away. We'd be paying billions for something a competitor could legally replicate in 6 months. Ethan watched it slipping away. Ryman turned to Ethan. Without that protection, we can't move forward. The VC was already at his car. Too much risk. Call us when the IP is locked down. And just like that, Ethan felt everything slipping away. Unless he played the card he'd been holding for 3 years. Ethan's phone rang. Unknown number. Mr. Walker. David Chun, VoltEdge Legal. Your employment contract includes IP clause. Section 12C. Any inventions related to your expertise created during your employment period belong to VoltEdge. I was a janitor. Your resume listed powertrain engineering. That expertise triggers the clause? This was the play. Madison could file for an injunction preventing him from working or licensing, drag him through depositions until he ran out of money for lawyers, until investors walked away. Ethan looked at his watch. 12:30 p.m. Liam's science fair started in 30 minutes. His hand trembled. I need to go. Mr. Walker, if you pursue licensing without our approval, we'll seek an injunction and pursue legal fees that could bankrupt you. A custody case gets very complicated when a parent is facing financial ruin and ongoing litigation. Ethan's blood went cold. She wasn't threatening to take Liam away tomorrow, but she could make his life unstable enough, broke, unemployed, fighting $1 billion corporation in court, that a judge would start asking if Liam was safe with him. I have to go. He hung up, Raymond watching. Problem? VoltEdge claiming ownership. On what grounds? Employment contract. Stefan shook his head. Corporate legal teams can stretch these cases for years, and no investor touches contested IP. Raymond nodded slowly. She's forcing you into a corner. You can't sell it. She can't develop it. Your only option is signing it over to VoltEdge for whatever deal she offers. Ethan looked at the Mustang, then down at his phone. Lock screen. Photo of Liam, age 7. Missing front tooth. Holding a wrench bigger than his arm, in his garage. Helping Dad. 15 years ago, he'd walked away from this industry. Not because he'd failed, because his wife Claire wanted the career, the prestige, the 80-hour weeks. She left him and Liam because Ethan refused to sacrifice being a father for stock options. So he became a janitor, picked Liam up from school, helped with homework, coached Little League, been there. And late nights in his garage, while Liam slept, he'd built something better than anything Apex ever produced. Not for money, not for recognition, because he wanted his son to see that real value doesn't come from titles. And now Madison was trying to take it. But she didn't know about the card in his pocket. He reached into his shirt pocket, pulled out that worn business card, Marcus Holland, patent attorney. Last week, when he'd heard about the investor tour, he'd made a precautionary call. He dialed. Marcus, it's time. 20 minutes later, a man in his 60s arrived, Marcus Holland, patent attorney, former Apex colleague. Walked straight to Ethan, leather briefcase. Glad you called last week. Gave me time to prepare everything. Nodded at Ryman. Dr. Ryman. Raymond's eyes widened. Marcus, you represent Mr. Walker? As of last Sunday, officially, Madison appeared, David Chun beside her. Mr. Holland, this is a VoltEdge matter. Marcus opened his briefcase. Pulled out a document. This is a full utility patent. Filed 4 years ago while Ethan was still at Apex Dynamics, not provisional. Full application. Already issued. Madison's face drained of color. Impossible. He said provisional. He filed provisional 3 years ago as a decoy. I advised him to file the real application the year before while still employed at Apex before he ever came to VoltEdge. That patent covers an earlier iteration of the core technology. The day he protected himself. Handed it to Ryman. What's in the Mustang is an evolution of that issued patent. The earlier filing gives him a defensive position strong enough to make any legal challenge extremely difficult and expensive. Stefan took the document, started reading. Eyes went wide. This is brilliant. The provisional was misdirection. Marcus smiled. If VoltEdge claims ownership of the provisional, they get nothing. The foundational patent, the one that actually matters, was filed and issued before Ethan's employment here. Completely outside VoltEdge's IP clause, David Chun read over Madison's shoulder. His face confirmed it. And Newberg already has a preliminary licensing framework. We've been in discussions for 2 weeks, Ryman nodded. We don't invest 400 million euros without doing our homework. The IP position is solid enough for us to proceed, Madison's voice tight. You deceived us. Ethan looked at her. I told you I filed provisional 3 years ago. That wasn't a lie. I just didn't mention there was an earlier, stronger filing that was already issued. You tried to use a contract clause to take my work. Threatened to make my life unstable enough that I might lose my son. I protected myself 3 years before I ever walked through your doors. Marcus closed his briefcase. Ms. Hart, your legal claim is void. Mr. Walker's ownership is defensible enough for Newberg to move forward with confidence. VoltEdge can walk away, or we discuss legitimate partnership. On Ethan's terms, Madison looked at David Chun, who shook his head slightly. Her phone buzzed. Message from the board chair. Her hand trembled slightly. She looked at Ethan's badge again. Night shift. Then at the Mustang. Then at the investors watching her. Madison had built VoltEdge after being underestimated early in her career. Somewhere along the way, she became the same kind of person who once dismissed her. She'd only seen the rust. Not the engine. What terms? Ethan checked his watch. 12:47 p.m. I have somewhere at 1 o'clock. Mr. Walker, billions on the table. My son has a science fair. I told him I'd be there. Riemann smiled. Then we reconvene tomorrow. Madison said softly, No, you're right. Go to your son. We'll talk tomorrow. 1 p.m. after his presentation. She extended her hand, not as CEO to employee. As equal to equal, Ethan shook it, firm, brief, then got in the Mustang. Drove away, and Madison stood there watching, finally seeing what she'd missed all along. Liam's school gym smelled like poster board and glue, rows of tables, baking soda volcanoes, solar system dioramas, plants and soil. But Liam's table was different. Working 4-stroke engine model, PVC, rubber tubing. Actually moving through intake, compression, power, exhaust. LED lights showing which stroke. Ethan stood in back, arms crossed, watching his son explain it to a judge. Liam walked the judge through intake, compression, ignition, and exhaust, hands shaking, voice steadying with every sentence. Judge nodding, writing notes, and efficiency? Energy lost? Liam's face lit up. This was the part he'd practiced most. A lot gets wasted as heat, but if you add a hybrid system, pointing to poster board drawing, you recover energy during exhaust and braking. Store it in a battery for later. My dad says that's the future of cars. You don't waste energy, you capture it and use it again. Judge smiled. Very impressive, Liam. She moved to the next table. Liam looked back. Spotted Ethan. Face brightened. Small, excited wave. Ethan waved back. Pride swelling. 2 hours later, they announced winners. Liam took second place. Engineering category. Ran to Ethan, holding red ribbon like an Olympic medal. Did you see? Did you see? Every second, pulling him into a hug. So proud of you. Judge asked about efficiency and I remembered everything. You did perfect, buddy. Can we get pizza? Anywhere you want. That night, Ethan didn't check his phone until Liam was asleep. Then, finally, kitchen table. Phone open. Messages flooding in. Riemann. Formal offer ready. $200 million plus royalties. $200 million. Auto future. 3 manufacturers want meetings. Tuesday? Forwarding names now. Ford, GM, Toyota. All 3 wanted to license his technology. Venture Group. Revised terms. 65% equity retained. $50 million seed. He'd keep control. Build his own company. Clean Energy Corp. Full acquisition, $1.8 billion. Chief engineer, $800,000 annual. $1.8 billion. But then he kept reading. Relocate to Houston. Immediately. Full-time presence required. His chest tightened. It would mean pulling Liam out of Lincoln Elementary. Away from his friends. Away from his Little League team. Away from the only stability he'd ever known. The same choice Claire had forced on him 15 years ago. Choose the career or choose being there for your son. He could have billions. Or he could tuck Liam in every night. Marcus. VoltEdge sent revised proposal. It's actually reasonable. Madison. I was wrong. Let's talk tomorrow. Really talk. Madison's came differently, not email. Not PDF. Handwritten note. VoltEdge stationery. Courier delivered Sunday afternoon. Ethan, I was wrong. I judged your worth by your uniform. I know what it's like to be underestimated. I built this company to prove them wrong. But somewhere along the way, I became the person I swore I'd never be. VoltEdge offers partnership. Not employee, co-founder of new division built around your platform. You set terms. Hours, location, team, IP. 20% equity, vested 4 years, full design control until year 2. More importantly, your son never wonders if his dad will be there. Non-negotiable. If you're willing to talk, I'm listening. Madison Ethan read it twice. Set it on the table next to other offers. The Houston offer stared back at him. $1.8 billion, chief engineer. But it would mean doing to Liam exactly what Claire had done to both of them. Walking away from the person who mattered most. He didn't even tell Liam about it. He just couldn't make him pack his room and leave his friends behind. The Houston offer went in the trash. Liam walked in from the living room, building Lego spaceship. Nature documentary playing in the background. Ethan sat on floor next to him. Big week, huh? Liam said without looking up. Yeah, pretty big. You gonna be famous, like on TV? Ethan smiled. Don't think so, buddy. But your engine's really good, right? That man from Germany said it's worth a lot. Might be worth something. Liam looked up. Serious now. Does that mean you won't be a janitor? Ethan thought about it. Maybe. Might do something different. But whatever I do, I'll still be your dad first. That doesn't change. Ever. Liam nodded, satisfied. Went back to his Legos. Ethan sat watching him build. Monday. 1 p.m. Madison's office. Just 3. Ethan, Madison, Marcus. She'd made coffee herself. Thank you for coming. You wrote a good letter. Small smile. Meant every word. Ethan pulled out a folder. Single sheet, handwritten notes. Thought about all offers. Newberg, Venture Group, acquisition, all of it. I'll work with VoltEdge. But I need 2 things in writing before I sign. Madison leaned forward. Name them. 1. Every employee here, janitors, cafeteria staff, security, maintenance, gets real leadership respect training, not HR videos. Real accountability. Executives spending time with people who keep this place running. Learning names. Understanding work. Making it personal. Madison nodded. Done. I'll implement personally. Report monthly to board. 2. Any profits from this engine, licensing, acquisition, royalties, 20% goes to scholarship fund. For kids whose parents work non-corporate jobs, trades, service. People like me who chose. Family over titles. Her eyes softened. That's beautiful, Ethan. We'll set up the fund. 30 days. He slid the paper across. Then let's talk structure. Chief Innovation Officer. Hybrid Propulsion Division. 4 days weekly. Monday, Thursday. Never past 3 p.m. Pick up Liam from school. Full hiring authority. Madison extended hand. Welcome to VoltEdge, Ethan, as partner. Firm handshake. Let's build something that actually matters. The Mustang sat in climate-controlled garage. VoltEdge's advanced propulsion research facility. Building that didn't exist 6 months ago. Not hidden anymore. Centerpiece. Raised platform. Soft LED lighting. Hood open. Engine exposed. Brushed aluminum plaque. Prototype Alpha E-Walker 2025. Innovation starts where judgment ends. Ethan stood watching. Coffee in hand. 15 engineers now. Detroit veterans who left corporate for something real. Dr. Hoffman from Newburgh transferred after seeing the engine. Developing production version. Scaling for mass manufacturing. Riemann visited monthly. Paid consultant. Newburgh licensed the tech. Luxury hybrid line. First prototypes 14 months out. Scholarship fund awarded first grants 2 months ago. 12 kids. Service workers' children. Heading to trade schools. Engineering programs. Fall semester. And Ethan still picked Liam up every day. Still homework at kitchen table. Saturday pancakes. Sunday Little League coaching. The Mustang's paint still chipped. Fender still dented. Mirror still epoxied. Offered full professional restoration. Museum quality. Every imperfection erased. VoltEdge expense. He said no, because the people who mattered, engineers who understood, investors who saw value. His son who loved it as is, didn't need it polished to see its worth. The wise see the engine, not the rust. And those who'd always judge by appearances, never going to understand what's under the hood anyway. Detroit, North American International Auto Show. Same city where he started. Same industry that was his world. Auditorium packed. Engineers, executives, journalists, students. Liam front row. Shirt and tie he picked himself. Ethan looked at his son, smiled, turned to audience. 15 years ago, I walked away from this industry. The screen behind him flickered. Image of him in janitor uniform. Mop bucket. VoltEdge hallway. Badge. Night shift. Not because I stopped caring about engineering, but because I cared more about being a father. Image changed. Liam at science fair, holding his PVC engine. People said I was wasting my talent, that I'd never build anything important. Mopping floors for minimum wage. Image changed. The Mustang. Rusted. Chipped paint. In VoltEdge parking lot, the world sees the rust. They said I'd given up. They were wrong. Next slide. Hood open. Engine gleaming under lab lights. The wise see the engine. This is what I built in a garage while the world wasn't watching. Image changed. Production line. Assembly robots. His engine being installed. Hybrid propulsion system. Licensed by 3 major manufacturers. Will power over 1 million vehicles in 5 years. Cleaner, more efficient, more durable than anything in current production. Room absolutely silent. I didn't build it for recognition. Image changed. Liam and Ethan in garage. Late night. Working together. I built it because I wanted my son to see something. Real value doesn't come from titles or corner offices or salary. Image changed. The plaque. Innovation starts where judgment ends. It comes from showing up every day. Doing work that matters. Never letting someone else's judgment define what you're capable of. He looked directly at Liam. Image behind him. The Mustang, split screen. Rusted exterior left. Gleaming engine right. The world sees the rust. The wise see the engine. Final image. Ethan and Liam, father and son. Hands on the Mustang hood. If you're building something that matters, something real, keep building. Even if no one's watching. Especially if no one's watching, because the people who matter will eventually notice. And when they do, make sure you've built something worth showing them. Applause started slow. Built, sustained, genuine. Ethan stepped off stage, walked to front row. Hand on Liam's shoulder. "How'd I do?" whispered. Liam grinned. Eyes bright with pride. "You crushed it, Dad. The world sees the rust. The wise see the engine." If you've ever been underestimated because of how you looked, where you worked, or what you drove, share this story. And if you believe real value doesn't need validation from people who only judge the surface, follow for more stories proving that greatness doesn't always come with a title.